So we're not doing an intro or anything like that right now. We're just going to get right into it because we need to talk about a very serious topic right now. I kind of don't know why I'm bothering doing this because by the time this video goes up, probably be like 2 freaking months from now. But this is extremely important. I just found out about an hour ago that there was a leak from the Supreme Court of the United States where they will be overturning Roe versus Wade. This is historic. This is unprecedented in many ways. The leak itself, like, there has never been a leak from the Supreme Court ever. So my guess, and a lot of people's guess, is that one of the justices that voted no leaked it to warn people about it because there is still time for the justices to change their mind. However, the 5 that voted yes probably will not change their mind, which is what makes this very scary. For those who don't know, Roe versus Wade was the Supreme Court case that made abortion illegal and accessible for women in the United States. A Supreme Court decision has not been overturned before. Like, this isn't something that happens, which makes me kind of question the purpose of the Supreme Court, because if they make decisions and then 50 years later they're overturned, then what's the fucking point? Also, Supreme Court needs term limits. Currently you serve for life, and so whatever your beliefs are, you are pretty much pounding that in for like 70 fucking years. I cried when I found out this information, if you can't tell. I'm trying to keep it together right now because I'm borderline crying again. Like, just trying to wrap my mind around this. Like, this isn't something that I expected to happen in my lifetime, and I am just blown away. I found out through freaking Facebook, of all things, and I was like, wait, what? Because people on Facebook here in Paris are already posting about, like, hey, is there gonna be a protest? Is there a march? Like, what can we do? So I'm hoping there'll be something organized. I'm gonna assume it would probably be at, like, the US Embassy or something. Because if there is going to be like a protest or a march or something, I'm 100% going to be there. Because for the past few years, I've even been thinking about getting like completely sterilized, and like this decision just makes me want to do it that much more. Because even though I live in France, I still come from the US, and like the state that I grew up in, Michigan, is one of the 22 states where the second Roe versus Wade is overturned, abortion will automatically be illegal. Like, that is fucking terrifying. And I don't ever want to be put in a position where I don't have access to healthcare that I need. Like, if I need to get an abortion, that's a medical right. So honestly, I would feel more comfortable if I was just straight up sterilized. Because another thing this brings up is, with them overturning Roe versus Wade, it's what's next. Top 2 on people's minds are birth control in general, which that's just fucking straight up terrifying, and gay marriage, which that's been around for less than a decade. So just pretty much there's just a line of people where their rights are just being stripped away one by one, essentially. So this is just another round of horrible news where we're getting closer and closer to literally being Gilead, however it's called, in the fucking Handmaid's Tale. And what's scary is, with abortion, it's not a situation where, like, you make it illegal, it's not happening. That's not how that works. You make it illegal, you're making it to where women cannot safely get abortions. It's still gonna fucking happen, just people are gonna potentially die from it. Like, it's just so scary and just such a rage-inducing situation, and I can't believe this shit is happening in 2022. Like, fuck. So yeah, I'm not in the best headspace right now. I feel physically sick from this news. My head's going a million miles a second. I just took a shower, as you can tell, to try and kind of calm myself down a bit because I was crying and everything, and I just can't comprehend it. I can't comprehend it. Like, this is just so insane to me, because, like, when you're taught about how the government works and stuff in school, like, this stuff is, like, set in stone kind of thing. Like, the Supreme Court, like, is pretty much, like, fucking God in the US when it comes to what is legal and illegal. And like, they see those big cases where there's just such a divide, And for this to be overturned, what the fuck? Like, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is probably rolling in her grave, and I know, like, she's obviously, like, an amazing figure and everything, but she also made the wrong decision in not retiring, because that, combined with Trump being elected and fucking Mitch McConnell and everything, is what's made this possible, and it's so fucking frustrating, and I bet, like, she's looking down from above and just fucking hating everything right now, because the US is just blowing itself up. This is just fucking bonkers. One thing this has, like, set in stone is that I will never live in the US again. I don't think I could, especially not in the state it is now. Like, I vote in every election I can because the US has absentee voting. Even though I live abroad, I am still able to vote. I will continue to do that. But even just visiting makes me cringe. Like, I don't want anything to do with this country. And states like Michigan being on the list that would make abortion illegal, honestly, from growing up there, and especially from what I saw and heard when I was there just this past November, Michigan is a red state disguised as a blue state, like 100%. And I'm losing my ability to talk for some reason. But yeah, Michigan's supposed to be, like, democratic. It's not. It's a disguise. Like, there's so many conservatives in Michigan. So if you're planning to try to get out of places like Texas, the ones that are, like, extreme, I still wouldn't suggest Michigan. It's just gonna be like Texas light, essentially. I need to calm down a bit. So I'm gonna try to talk about Les Miserables. I don't know how that's gonna be. Like, I'm just gonna try to forget that all of this just happened. Woosah kind of moments. But today's actually Tuesday. I completely forgot to film yesterday. I had meant to do it in the evening, but the weekend was so busy and everything, I just never got around to being able to read that appendix from Les Miserables. And then when I just kind of forgot last night, I was just like, whatever. So I actually read that appendix, which is the book 7, all of it today. And so I'm just going to briefly talk about it. So it was really weird reading from the very back of the book. Like, this is just the last few pages where the appendix is. And essentially, this whole book was talking about how monasteries and convents are like horror stories. And I thought that was kind of funny. And so in a way, it was kind of interesting to read. But then it just kind of got boring at the end. So I definitely see why they kind of took this out of the main part of the book. But some of the descriptions Victor Hugo used of this convents and monasteries and stuff was just kind of funny and interesting. Like, he talks about so much intelligence condemned to the imprisonment of vows for life, the burial of living souls. Like, damn. And then he says, to speak of a monastery is to speak of a swamp. The tendency to putrescence is apparent. The stagnation is unhealthy. The fermentation renders the people feverish so that they waste away. And the spreading of such swamps becomes a plague of Egypt. It's like, fuck. Like, he really kind of comes at the monasteries and convents a bit. And he talks about how, like, in the 10th century, I think he's talking about, how, like, the 10th century, essentially the Middle Ages, like, they were good things, and then the 15th century, they're kind of and then now when Les Miserables is happening, he's like, they're just completely unneeded, and how they're just, like, a strain on society, and pretty much make the people zombies, because they're pretty much already, like, resigned to death, and are pretty much kind of creating a hell on earth for themselves, while not exactly contributing to anything useful, and I just thought his take on that was kind of interesting, and that's pretty much all of what that book was. So now, tomorrow, I will be starting book 8, which is The Cemetery's Take, What They Are Given. So we'll be heading back to Jean Valjean, and hopefully we won't be staying in the convent for much longer, now that we've heard all of the descriptions about it. But we'll see there. I feel like I have no idea what to do with myself now after finding out the Supreme Court stuff. Like, I feel like I just have the 1,000-yard stare of just lost in thought, and, like, what am I gonna do? What is the US gonna do? Like, how can this be fixed? Hey, Pikachu. Hey, look. Can we spin? No. Can we spin?
Oh my god, no. Hey, can we do a spin? Oh my god, no, you're just trying to eat my hand. Pika! Oh, oh. Around this way. Oh, look at that. Look at that boy. Good boy. No, you're taking too much now. You're taking too much. And you stole it. Nope, nope, nope. Give. 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 Oh, no. And yeah, I'm not getting that back from you, am I? I really hope it is not too loud out here, but it is the next day. I just read 2 chapters in Les Miserables, and I know we've already kind of really diverted from the story as it is in the movie and the musical, but we are just completely going in a different direction here. So what it seems like is going to happen is that Jean Valjean and Cosette are actually going to stay in this convent. The gardener, it seems like he's going to make a plan to where Jean Valjean can kind of be his like assistant and help out and be a gardener alongside him, and that Cosette would then go to the boarding school that's there. But right now their problem is they're already in there, and if they're discovered then they would immediately be arrested. So now they have to kind of smuggle them out. Cosette is easy. The guy is just gonna like carry her in a basket on his back, like Demon Slayer style. But one of the nuns has just passed, and so it seems like Jean Valjean is thinking that he's going to take her place in the coffin, and then at night when they take the coffin out, that's how he'll kind of escape, kind of deal. And I think this is what's going to happen because the convent is a place that Javert doesn't have access to, and so I think Jean Valjean's just kind of considering it like this is the one safe haven in Paris that is available to them. And the gardener is gonna pretend that Jean Valjean's like his brother and stuff, and I'm interested to see how that's gonna play out, if like their con is actually gonna work. But it seems like it would, just because I don't know what like their plan B would actually be in this case, considering Javert is around. But yeah, I did not know anything like this happened in the book, and it's kind of interesting how instead of it being like years later Javert finds out he's still alive, it's literally like immediately. Like there's never a respite from freaking Javert in here. So that's where I'm at right now in Les Mis. It does seem to be picking up now, and I am always just kind of blown away how far I am in it. Like I'm getting closer and closer to the halfway point. I'm over 400 pages in. Like I'm proud of what I've read so far. But today we are going to forget how much of a dumpster fire the world is right now, and it's pretty much Marvel Day, even though it's May 4th and it's technically Star Wars Day. Today the finale of Moon Knight comes out, which we'll be watching in like half an hour here for lunch, and then tonight the second Doctor Strange movie comes out, which that's the Multiverse of Madness, and that is my most hyped movie of the year, so I am just cannot wait for that. That's 6:30 tonight, and it's coming out 2 days before the US, because here in France movies always come out on Wednesday, and so we usually get the Marvel movies before the US does. So yeah, I'm going to use today as a forget the rest of the world day and just be immersed in what makes me happy. Well, rip to, oh god, Tarty is jumping off the cat tree. But rip to this ribbon here. One of the cats got to it last night, and I'm assuming it's Ori because he's the one that usually fucks shit up like this. This is why we cannot have nice things, and I'm probably going to cut it before it unravels more. But yeah, I'm gonna have to cut it like there. It's just gonna be a tiny stub now. That makes me so sad though, because like this is the book that I got at Shakespeare & Co, so it's just kind of like,
Really? That's what you had to eat? I guess it's better than actually eating the freaking book. But anyway, I read the next chapter here. It was quite a long one, actually. And essentially what I thought was going to happen is definitely the plan that they're going with. The gardener, whose name I cannot remember or pronounce, I just know it's like F and then a bunch of vowels, but he pretty much is summoned to the convent because one of the nuns has died. He's just kind of sweet talking her a bit, like, hey, I'm getting old, I have this limp, there's a lot of work to do here, and I have a brother who's really strong, and he has a granddaughter that would be perfect for the boarding school here. And so he's just kind of being like a smooth talker like that and everything. And she doesn't really seem to be listening, but at the end she seems to kind of accept what he's saying. So I think that part will go off without a hitch kind of deal. But the main issue is still getting Jean Valjean like out of the convent, which Victor Hugo is doing a plot point that is one of those it's too convenient kind of plot points, because apparently the nun that died, she wants to be buried like under the altar where they pray, and that's like huge like no, I guess. So they're having to do it in secret. So they're gonna pretend they're gonna have a casket without a body. They're supposed to just put some dirt in it for like weight. But so they're gonna have like a decoy casket to be taken out of the convent and buried at the cemetery, just so that it seems like that's where the nun was buried. And so it's just kind of like, that's a bit too convenient. Like, this exact scenario just happens to be set up and served on a silver platter to them. So, I mean, that's how it's going to work out and everything in the end. But I'm just curious to see if there's going to be any, like, trip-ups or hitches in the plan at all, or if it's all just kind of going to go smoothly. So I guess I'll see that in the next chapters. Is that not just the most terrifying face in existence? And look at that vicious, vicious creature. Such blue eyes. Such long teeth. You barely see Dorothy's face there. She's extending on the bed. I realized after I filmed yesterday, I completely forgot to talk about the movie we went and saw on Wednesday evening. We went and saw Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, the Port Mayo Theater, which is just like one metro stop away from us. That's been recently renovated. It used to be pretty crappy before. So we went to check out the new theater, and it's actually really nice. They did a pretty incredible job renovating it. So that will probably be our main theater from now on, actually. The movie itself, it was my most anticipated movie of the year, and it's definitely not the best one of the year. I did film a video about it, so if you want like an in-depth review, you can check that out. I'll pop up a thing here. But pretty much, I enjoyed parts of it, but as a whole, it was disappointing. And it wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't a great movie either. So that's all I'm gonna say on that. I read one chapter of Les Miserables today, and I feel like I finished at a pretty good point, because this weekend will actually be out of town, so this is my last reading day for this week. But pretty much it was just a chapter of Jean Valjean and the other guy, the gardener, just kind of figuring out the details of their plan. And the gardener pretty much has the same idea as me, as if they're caught, like, shit's gonna hit the fan kind of deal, like, whew. So I think next week's reading is gonna be pretty interesting. It's because it's gonna be fun to see if their plan goes off without a hitch, or if something happens, or just to see how that all goes down. But like I just said, we are going out of town for the weekend. We are actually heading to Puy du Fou, which is a theme park, and it's actually considered the best theme park in the world, but I'm not sure if that still holds the title. But when we went in 2017 it did, and that's actually where we went for our honeymoon, so we're pretty excited to go back. But our friends Christy and Joel, their places where we play D&D at, we've pretty much been like hyping this place up like since we met them, and they're the ones that are moving to Ireland soon, so they're kind of trying to do as many French things as possible. So they're coming with us, and we're going as a group, and so I hope that it lives up to the expectations we've given them for this place. But pretty much it's a theme park, but the theme is pretty much like French history, and so it kind of has stuff from like medieval times up into World War II, I believe it is. And it's just so interesting. Like, there's all these different spectacles. There's a Colosseum, there's the Vikings, there's one about a general from like the Revolutionary War and stuff. There's a spectacle that's all about birds of prey. Like, it's just so interesting and fun. So we'll be leaving to head there tomorrow morning, and we'll come back late in the evening on Sunday. So just like an overnight trip, but it's pretty much a 3-hour drive from Paris. So our friends are renting a car to take us there. So that will be more enjoyable than the train, at least. So pretty much I'm going to be ending the reading vlog here, since I won't be able to read anymore this weekend. But I will probably be including the footage from the weekend trip into here. I'm not sure if I'll do it at the end of this or the beginning of the next one, or a mix of both. But that is for future Hannah to decide. So thank you for hanging out with me. It is always appreciated. Not as much happened this week. It's pretty much all on the weekend. But until next time, bonne journée and au revoir.
You go meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow. So cute. So adorable. We are just about ready to head out. We have all the stuff blocked so the cats don't accidentally kill themselves while we're gone. And there he is, waiting for Toma to come back from Monoprix. Chinchillas don't care what's going on. Cats have been going a bit crazy this morning, but hopefully we have a safe trip to Puy du Fou.
Open it and steam